What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Racy Podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So today, guys, I'm going to speak to you about the fight between Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Oh man, this was a really hard one to watch, to be honest. Like everybody else, like almost every single person from the ones that grew up watching Mike Tyson, they were all going for Mike Tyson. Even I was somewhat going for Mike Tyson as well. But his age did caught up to him on this fight, and he did lose against Jake Paul. They went all 8 rounds, and this was very difficult to watch. Like, he was giving it his all, like, in the first 2 rounds, and that was about it. That was like what we mostly all got from Mike Tyson. Like everything else, like after round 3 or so, that's when Jake, he was taking over the whole match. And to be honest, it seemed like Jake was holding back. It seemed like he didn't really want to hit Mike anymore. Cause like on round 3 or so, he had like 3 good shots at Mike, and damn, man, this was a very difficult fight to watch, and he just didn't feel right at all. You know, the crazy part is, it wasn't the fight that was the crazy part. It was just the Netflix streaming service. A lot of people couldn't watch the fight because they just having bad reception. Like all the servers, they were going down, and I was trying to see this fight with my family, and it's just like the whole program, the whole pay-per-view, it was just like that the whole time, and it was just so freaking annoying. Like, I mostly saw like the updates on Twitter and stuff, and that was about it. I did got to see just like a few rounds of the Amanda Serrano fight versus Katie Taylor one. It was actually pretty brutal. It was crazy. Amanda Serrano, she almost had like her eye messed up, her right eye. And so did Katie Taylor around like the ending of the like a 11th round or so. What I saw is it seemed like Katie Taylor was dominating, but like my siblings, they were watching the fight while I was just doing something else. They told me that Amanda Serrano, she was dominating the whole fight, and Katie Taylor, to me, it seemed like she was winning, but then I got to see like the results, like how many punches they landed. Katie Taylor did landed over 120 punches, and Amanda Serrano, she got over 324 punches, which was insane. So if they actually did score her to get that many punches, then she should have won the fight, right? But that didn't happen. They actually gave it to Katie Taylor, which was insane. I'm surprised because aren't the judges supposed to go to the person that supposedly is the most active throughout the fight? But I'm guessing in this one they didn't, and Katie Taylor won the second time around against Amanda Serrano. Yeah, that's insane, man. That's really insane. Maybe because of the eye. Maybe that's why they just gave it to Katie Taylor. They just thought that like her just being damaged, and that's why maybe seemed like she wasn't as active. But like what I saw, like I started watching the fight like around round 8 or so, and like to me it seemed like Katie Taylor was the most active one. Like I said, I did not see this whole fight, but my siblings did. And they told me that Amanda Serrano was winning the fight. And that's when I noticed the punches landed. Yeah, that was an insane one. I feel like the co-main event, that should have been the main event, because that's fight, they were going at it, man, to be honest. Those ladies, they just go at it, and they did really good, man. For the sport and like for women's boxing as well, they just did good. But as for the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight, that was a very difficult watch, man. Yeah, he's 58 years old, man. He's an older guy, and he's not the same guy anymore. I wish, man. I wish like I was a kid in the 80s just watching his fights. Man, that would have been so awesome. I was born in the late 90s. But I got to see his footage on YouTube and stuff, like all his KOs. This guy was a legend in his own right, and it just seemed so sad just seeing him just go out on his last fight against a YouTuber, someone who thinks that he's so great. Jake, you're not so great. Jake just goes after people who are MMA fighters, people who are older than 40 years old. Dude, he's just really not fighting prime boxers who are in his age gap and his weight class as well. I don't know why. The only person that he did fought that was in his weight class and it was around his age, it was Tommy Fury. And guess what? He lost that fight. The only boxer that he fought, he lost to. And wow, it's just insane how this guy, he just keeps on getting money and money and money against people who do not actually box or are retired, just like Mike Tyson. He was a retired veteran. His last major fight, it was against, I guess, in his Roy Jones in 2020, but that did not count out on his record. But like this fight between him and Jake Paul, it counted on his record, which was insane. Now Mike Tyson has 50 wins, right? His 7th loss is Jake Paul. I cannot believe it, man. Nobody can believe that his name, Jake Paul, is now written on his record that he lost to Jake Paul. It's insane, man. That's crazy. Probably nobody would have imagined that in like 5 years ago that Mike Tyson was going to fight Jake Paul and that he was going to lose to him, and it was going to be for his boxing record. Yeah, nobody didn't thought about that. I didn't. I thought this was an exhibition match until like maybe like a few days before they actually fought each other. Yeah, man, that's just so insane. Oh man, it's just really sad. Just he was just giving his best, but like his best wasn't enough against Jake Paul because it wasn't because he was a better fighter. He was just a younger guy. He had more energy and he was just connecting more. But there's just no way. There's just no way Jake Paul would have called out Mike Tyson if he was in his 20s. Dude, he would not have thought about that at all. Bro, if they fought in their prime, you know that Mike Tyson is going to murder this kid. He was going to take him down in the first round, maybe like in the first 10 seconds of the fight. He wasn't going to last against him if they fought in their prime. Prime against prime. No, man. Yeah, he's just picking up old retired veterans from boxing, MMA fighters that are just taking the sport of boxing, and a basketball player. Let's just see if Jake actually fights a boxer that is in his weight class, that is close to his age group. Let's see if he actually does it on the next fight, because due to like Netflix just with their servers just not working at all, and just people mad at him beating Mike Tyson, people weren't happy with this guy. Yeah, they really weren't, and he just wants the money. I don't see him actually becoming a world champion. Like I just recently saw today that Artur Beterbiev, he actually was given Jake Paul a chance to actually fight him for the champion. Like he is the current champion for the light heavyweight division, I believe. but he actually would want to fight him, and there's like an opportunity for Jake if he actually wants to take it. But we don't know. We don't know if he's actually gonna take it or not. I highly doubt it because Arthur better be if he is the champion. And yes, he is like 38 years old, but like I don't think Jake will ever take that fight. Nah, I doubt it. He just keeps on calling out Canelo, but Canelo doesn't even want to fight this guy either because he doesn't take him seriously. Unless he fights great boxers in his weight class and that are in his age group, then yes, people would take him serious. Like at first, back in like maybe 2020 or 2021, it was cool that he was getting his KOs against like MMA fighters, you know. But now that like people did notice that he can fight, people are wondering if can he actually defeat actual boxers that are ranked or are in his age group and weight class. We still haven't seen that yet. He just keeps on calling out MMA fighters and retired veterans of the sport of boxing. It just doesn't make sense, and just he just keeps on getting money. Speaking of money, he got 40 million for the fight, and Mike Tyson he got 20 million for the fight. That is a lot of money, but yeah, that is insane. Mike Tyson says that in his post interview, he said that he's still not done. Supposedly that he will want to fight Logan Paul, Jake's older brother, but I doubt him. He freaking Logan Paul. He said, "I'll kill you, Mike. I will kill you." Nah, man. Wow, this guy. To be honest, like back in 2016, I didn't knew about these guys, and I haven't really talked about these guys at all because they're just everywhere. Like I watched WWE and freaking Logan Paul, he just came out of nowhere on that. When I started watching the sport of boxing, guess who was there? Freaking Jake Paul. He just started fighting all these other MMA fighters. They're everywhere, man. They really are everywhere. But yeah, that's how it is for the conclusion for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight. I highly doubted that Mike is going to fight again. He says he's not done, but at his age, I don't think he should be anywhere near a boxing ring. He should be home, man. Just be with his family. He should bring back his podcast. I think that's what will be cool for him. Yeah, it's just really sad, man. It was really hard watching the fight, like I told y'all. And now, speaking of boxing, Usyk versus Tyson Fury. That fight is still happening. It's going to happen around December the 21st. And I cannot wait, man. This is a rematch that lots of people have been waiting for. I do believe that Tyson Fury is going to get the victory on this one. Yes, like in the first fight, he was like showboating a lot. And that was like his major weakness. That was like his major weakness overall, to be honest. Like I feel like if he wasn't showboating and was taking the fight very serious, then he would have won the fight. But that round, the one that he got like 8 points on, that was a major difference. And I thought like that fight could have been a draw, to be honest, but no, they actually gave it to Usyk. Yeah, I cannot wait for that one, man. It's gonna be a great one. Tyson Fury is gonna come back. I just know it, man. I know it in my gut, and that Tyson Fury is going to beat Usyk. Maybe it could be by a KO win. We don't know, but I feel like Tyson Fury is going to get his win against Usyk, and we're probably going to get a trilogy fight from them. Yeah, man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this one. It's going to be great. I know it. Now, speaking of fighting, I'm going to speak to you about UFC. I'm just going to speak to you about the main event. It's going to be Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. I don't really know much about Stipe, but like people are saying that he's considered like one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time. And we also have Jon Jones, who has never really lost in any of his UFC fights other than just one. And that one loss, it was when he got disqualified against some guy that he got DQ'd on. Yeah, Jon Jones got DQ'd, and that's how he lost that fight. He's never really lost in UFC, so we're going to see how that actually turns out. I'm thinking that probably maybe Jon Jones could actually get a KO win against Stipe Miocic. Maybe like around round 3 or so. That's my prediction, that he's going to get a victory around round 3. Yeah. And lots of people are saying that he is kind of avoiding Tom Aspinall. I did see him fight some other guy. Like he KO'd him on the very first round, and I thought like the other guy was going to win. I forgot his name. I really did forget his name, but he had like blonde hair. Yeah, I think it was like a Russian guy that Tom Aspinall was fighting. I do not have his name at the top of my head, but yeah, he was fighting him, and that guy did lose against Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is good, but like, is he better than Jon Jones? That's the thing. Maybe he is, because maybe Jon Jones, he's avoiding fighting him. He doesn't want to fight him at all. So, and there's like rumors that probably Jon Jones might retire after this fight against Stipe. So we will see. That would really suck if he actually relinquishes his title, if he beats Stipe and just retires there. And that means that he was avoiding Tom Aspinall the whole time. Back then, like in the early 2020s, and like in 2020 through 2023, Francis Ngannou, he was the main guy. He was like the main champion, and I do believe that he was avoiding him. He was avoiding Francis Ngannou. He was so dangerous. Jon Jones was avoiding him the whole time. Like in those 3 years, I think he was just getting ready to come back into the UFC octagon. This guy, he was preparing himself against Ciryl Gane, and he did get his victory in the very first round by submission win against Ciryl Gane, which was very impressive, because I thought like maybe I knew that Jon Jones was going to get the win, right? But I did not know he was going to get it that fast, which was very impressive. Even Dana White, he has said that Jon Jones is the GOAT of UFC, the greatest of all time. So we'll see how he does against Stipe. But I do believe that he's going to get the win. I don't know. It could be either way. It could be by submission win or by KO, but I highly doubted that it was going to go to decision win. So yeah, that's my prediction for that fight, guys. And yeah, that is it for this podcast, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you did made it this far, make sure to follow this podcast on whichever platform you are listening to it. If you are listening to it on YouTube, Pandora, Spotify, make sure to follow it, and also recommend this podcast to a friend or neighbor that actually likes listening to stuff about combat sports. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do. And yeah, guys, that is it. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.